Kayla and I decided a fun thing to do would be like rewatch a movie series that's just terrible and just poke fun at it.
So you're watching all of the Fast and the Furious?
Yes. How did you know that?
Well, because you told me you just watched the Fast and the Furious the other day, and I was like,
it was horrible.
Such a good movie.
No, it's not.
It's so good.
Anyway, but it's like all the music just sounds like the screen. I mean, I never said this right. Like the screen where you design your character on like a snowboarding game.
Yes, you said SSX Tricky the other day.
Or like when they infiltrate a nightclub on Alias in like 2002.
I was gonna say it's definitely a holdover from like The Matrix and like that music.
Yeah.
Oh, are we awake right now?
That's enough banter.
Yeah. Why are we always more like awake in the evenings?
I don't know.
When we're falling asleep.
Lunch. I'm so tired. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm like still jet lagged and fucked up.
Just woke up.
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right. You're listening to Namely 90s. My name's Andrew, and over there is Brandon.
That's me.
You can find us online at namely90s.com or on Instagram at namely90s. You can also find the show on YouTube every Monday at youtube.com/@namely90s. And if you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/namely90s and get signed up for one of our support levels.
Yeah, I feel like we should check on the Patreon at some point. Yeah. It's been like 2 years.
Greetings from the road.
Hello.
I find myself in beautiful Tacoma, Washington. He said that with his tongue in his cheek.
Yeah. Great place to get stabbed.
Yeah, it's not bad. I always thought of Tacoma as the Everett of the South and Everett as the Tacoma of the North. But Tacoma's like a little bigger and a little nicer.
Yeah, it's definitely the Seattle of the South.
Although someone was like, hey, what are some fun activities to do in Tacoma? I was like, dodging gunfire.
Yeah, if you go past, what is it, the 14th Street, be prepared for a little dodging bullet scheme and a nice donut shop.
Plus, you can always go to the Dale Cholula Museum or whatever. Dave, the glass guy.
Yes, well done.
That is ironically located in a place with a lot of gunfire. No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's by the waterfront.
I was just making a glass joke.
Oh.
But I figured you'd see right through it.
Were you prepared with that?
It's clear that you don't like that joke.
That's
just trying to be transparent with you.
Well done. Yes. I on the other hand, seem to be locked in talking like Frasier because I've been watching Cheers. I've been watching Cheers so I can watch Frasier. So then I could watch the reboot of Frasier coming in
so that you can be disappointed by the reboot of Frasier coming next month.
Exactly. I might be disappointed when it goes from Cheers to Frasier just because it's like it feels like they remade the character and I'm getting attached to the more dickish Cheers Frasier. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because I've never done a full watch of Cheers. Like the early years with Diane, played by Shelley Long. That started in '82, so it ended before we were alive. And then I remember watching reruns with Kirstie Alley, but apparently she leaves in before the final season too. So it's like, what is this show about? It's just about Ted Danson trying to get his dick wet, and pretty much. And I gotta say, the first season of Cheers, surprisingly woke. I talked about this on our X page. That's Twitter for all of you that actually aren't weird.
Are you going to be paying the monthly fee?
No. Wait, you're going to wait just to access it now?
Yeah, apparently they're talking about making it a fee-based service.
Find us on Threads at Namely 90s. Yeah, no. The most used social media by us is Instagram. But anyway, actually, we seem to be quite active on YouTube, at least with the Namely 90s in it. Yeah.
YouTubestagram.
Yes. What was I saying? Cheers. Oh yeah. It's interesting to see the show devolve from, it's like, oh hey, there was an episode where a guy comes in troubled because his son is gay and is going to marry into an interracial, or is in an interracial relationship, and they're all like, you're gonna lose your son if you don't accept him, to flash forward to Sam almost essaying a woman, and definitely should have been fired daily for sexual harassment.
It went more toward like the married with children vibe.
Yes. It was definitely, it was lowbrow, but this was like the Friends of the 80s, you know, like this was the show that people tuned into NBC for.
Fat jokes and homophobia. That's basically Friends.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. You could see it evolving into the 90s humor, but you always assumed it's from more crude 80s humor, which I guess it was, but it was just like the first season. And then I noted that I noticed in like the internet files, the Wikipedia for Cheers, that like the first season wasn't that popular, and then it like caught on like wildfire. So yes,
indeed. All right, well, this has been fun. I'll see you next.
Yeah. No, we really can't fill 10 minutes, can we?
No, not exactly. Although, no.
What are you doing for Halloween?
I don't know. I think it's going to be kind of low key. I think I'm actually not moving as early as expected, so I'll probably be home. Usually we just take the kids out, do a little trick or treating, have a hot, delicious meal that warms you up after that event, and just hanging out. More
road recordings.
No, I don't think I'm.
Oh, you see, I have a shed.
No, my opening has been delayed. That's what she said.
That's unfortunate.
So I'll be home this year for a little bit.
And then I don't know. We haven't decided on it if we're doing it again, but the Christmas specials. We haven't decided on it, but I have made a tentative lineup. So if you're listening to this and would like to be on our Christmas specials, let us know.
The thing I have to be conscious of is having it on services that I'll actually have access to.
Yes.
I'm not at home. But
I kind of heavily stacked it on Paramount Plus. Just because
I think we should be able to do it. I don't know. But yeah, I would say if you're listening and you're interested, let us know. We'd love to have your support.
Yes. So we can support you as well.
Indeed. It's a two-way street.
Yes. We give back. Speaking of which, we are also in October doing the fourth podcast of Horror 4. Where we don't watch anything scary and talk about it because it's Halloween themed.
This is 4, not 3? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 4.
No, we started it in May 2020.
Yes. So 20, 21, 22, 23 is 4.
Yeah, okay. I'm bad at math. Here we are, folks.
Yes. Watch our math. I can also just check it by looking at the last year's holiday
podcast of horror.
So if there's anything that you want us to watch, let us know because we haven't recorded it yet, and we will take it into consideration, but probably won't because because we have an idea of what we're doing. Who knows? Is there an episode of television of Halloween stuff that you like that from the 90s that we should watch? Or is there a scary movie that you think we would enjoy? I liked it when we did, was it Gremlins 2?
Yeah.
Because you got to see a Gremlins movie. And
lucky me.
And you seemed to enjoy it, which was the odd thing.
Yeah, but only because I found it hilarious to like kind of poke fun at, which is fine.
Yeah, in the way that you're currently watching the Fast franchise.
Yeah, it's super painful to watch.
The Gremlins or the Fast franchise? The
Fast franchise.
I have to say the first one is gold. There's good chemistry. It's hokey, but it's
painful not because of like.
Because it's
the story, it's just very, it's cringy because it's so like lame.
Broy.
Yeah.
Yes, I get that. But it's also like it's the reason why people love Point Break, because it's like action cheesy. It's more of an action movie than what they've turned into.
And I just love that they're stealing like millions of dollars worth of like JVC, like 13-inch TV VCR combos from Panasonic or whatever.
Yeah, I think they're Panasonic. That in my
There's
memory,
a Philips Laserdisc player. You're like, oh,
ooh, they've boosted some 8 tracks. That is pretty good.
Also, why are there just trucks full of electronics driving all through the desert?
Because that's how they get to California.
Yeah, I guess it was a Best Buy truck or something.
Yeah. JVC or Panasonic has just trucks roaming with all of their tech.
Absolutely.
Because they can't store it at a facility.
Well, there we go. I just spent a good 5 minutes on something from the 2000s.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, Point Break is the tie-in there.
Indeed. Which is an 80s movie?
Funny. Early 90s.
Okay. It feels like an 80s movie. I don't know why.
Because it's Patrick Swayze.
Okay.
But it's also Keanu Reeves, and we did a boot/reboot on it, where you said you would rather watch the original than the terrible 2015 version.
Are you a John Wick person?
I have not watched it yet. Have you started watching it? I have a feeling
I'm not going to be a John Wick person.
Really? Because it's supposed to be super cool and actiony and well done.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. I'll think about it.
It might be too.
I've watched 28 Fast and Furious movies, so
fair. You'll be ready for the 12th one.
They have to jump a tank into a tank on an airplane at the end of a 17-mile runway.
Yeah, well, you're not far off. Isn't it? Well, so that was the 17-mile runways from Die Hard 2, but the tank, there's the plane that births a tank onto a freeway in Fast and Furious 6.
I think Vandenberg's runway is about 15,000 feet.
Well, Colorado, Denver's is long because it's thinner.
About 16,000.
Oh, wow.
So you can disappear into thin air. It's a 16,000 foot runway, so 3 miles, which honestly takes 3 minutes at what, 60 miles an hour.
Were you the one telling me about that?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like,
but I mean, if planes take off at like 160, 180 miles an hour, that's a minute.
Fair. Should we get into this week's deep dive?
Let's do it. So this week, in honor of the X-Files turning 30 years old, the premiere of the X-Files, we're taking a deep dive into the Wikipedia page of the X-Files. Well, it's interesting anyway. Do you have any memories of the X-Files or anything? Favorite episodes, comments?
Well, I remember you were super into it when we were younger. And then, I don't know, I wasn't super big on the spooky, scary back when we were kids. And, but I've watched it front to back twice, I think. because
if you watch it back to front, it's really interesting.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure I shared before my sixth grade debate. No, seventh grade debate. Or we in class we had to do a debate. Was that the year we were in the same class?
I couldn't tell.
No, maybe it was sixth grade. Seventh grade we got split. But for our English class, I had to do a debate, and it was on euthanasia, and which I thought the teacher had said youth in Asia.
The youth in Asia today.
Which means I definitely knew so much about the topic, but I had to take the anti-euthanasia stance. So I was like, well, I have no idea what to do for this. So I'm just, and then the X-Files had just ended, I think, when we were in the sixth grade, when Mulder does the speech about the truth is out there and whatever, and he has a great speech in this series finale, or the original series finale of the X-Files, about the truth and finding it, and something about courts and whatever. So I just completely ripped that for my closing statement on. You
notice how he said, "This is my truth" a lot, and like that's not my truth. This is my truth.
Oh,
people who say that don't understand what the truth is.
Yes. At least nowadays, yes. But yeah, that's what I remember. Yeah, I remember watching the original series finale, but not like being a super big X-Files fan. I was just like, oh, this is cool, and this is a cultural touchstone that I should watch. And then I watched the reboot, and then we went to the second movie in theaters, a midnight release, I think.
In the theaters.
Yes. What about you?
Yeah, I we'll get into it, but I always liked like the sort of the mythology arc, the conspiracy theories and all that stuff, and like the government stuff. But apparently I kind of forgot like the culmination of that was sort of a letdown. Like it didn't really go anywhere.
Right.
But I always loved the show. I remember watching it. Like I have to go to my parents' bedroom and watch it on syndication on like a 13-inch TV.
Because everyone else was watching All in the Family.
Yeah, like Roseanne or something downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but let's. I mean, obviously, a lot of people know about the X-Files, but I'm going to give a little synopsis and some interesting info about it. So
let's do it.
Here we go. The X-Files.
Here we go.
Is an American science fiction drama television series created by Chris Carter, which ran from September 1993 to May 2002 on the Fox network. In its original run, there were 9 seasons, a total of 202 episodes. There was also a 10th season that ran from January to February of 2016, and an 11th season of 10 episodes that ran from January to March of 2018. It also spawned 2 movies, the 1998 film The X-Files Fight the Future, and the standalone film The X-Files I Want to Believe, released in 2008. As most people know, it revolves around FBI Special Agents Fox Mulder, portrayed by David Duchovny, and Dana Scully, Dr. Dana Scully, I should say, played by Gillian Anderson. They investigate do people use this word, eponymous? Eponymous?
Well, I mean,
that sounds like a part of your skin. The eponymous.
Epidermis, yeah. I know what eponymous means, and that it's the thing that it's named for.
Eponymous. X-Files. Marginalized unsolved cases involving paranormal phenomena. Mulder is a skilled criminal profiler, a supernaturalist, and a conspiracy theorist who believes in the existence of the paranormal, including extraterrestrials, whereas Scully is a medical doctor and a skeptic who's been assigned to scientifically, quote, debunk Mulder's discoveries. Which is always funny. Like, something completely unexplainable and paranormal would happen, and she would be like, but I don't believe it.
Yeah.
She watches a ghost do something. Or whatever.
Yeah, she was like shot by a ghost, and then it's like, that's not possible. Ghosts aren't real. And there's just like a gaping bullet hole on her.
Early in the series, both agents become pawns in a larger conflict and come to trust only each other and a select few people. They also discover,
you said they only trust a close-knit group of people, and it's like, who still end up betraying them.
As I alluded to earlier, they discover an agenda of the government to keep secret the existence of extraterrestrial life, of which about a third of the episodes sort of play into that whole story arc.
Mm.
And then, as you know, the other episodes are sort of we call Monster of the Week episodes, where it's not really tied to the overall story, but there's some sort of whack job or weirdo, a chupacabra, a vampire.
What people think of as filler episodes now is what usually like Monster of the Week episodes kind of are, because you don't advance the overarching narrative of the series.
Yeah, I guess I don't see them as filler, but some of them were really bad.
I just mean like, because today everything's like, watch this 10 episode season of something on Paramount Plus, and it's like, cool, that's great and everything, but like every episode is just like so important to the series that there's no like, oh, I missed an episode. What does it matter that I missed the episode? Should I try to catch it on reruns? Do I need to record it with my VCR? You need to watch every piece of media now, whereas back in the 90s you could be like, oh, it looks like this episode doesn't really pertain to the parts of the story that I'm interested in, and according to the TV guide, so I guess we can go out and eat instead of staying in for X-Files tonight. if you follow.
Let's see.
Also, why is it that when you have the deep dives, we have to record off of your hotel audio?
I don't know.
It just hit me while we were going through this. But yes, sorry for interrupting.
Oh, you're fine. The X-Files was inspired by earlier television series, which featured elements of suspense and speculative fiction, including The Twilight Zone, Night Gallery, Tales from the Dark Side, Twin Peaks, and especially Kolchak, the Night Stalker. No idea.
I was going to say, I recognize Twilight Zone and Twin Peaks. I think Kolchak was a 70s show and like one season.
Obviously we all know the Twilight Zone, Twin Peaks, but in creating the main characters, Carter sought to reverse gender stereotypes by making Mulder a believer and Scully a skeptic, which is a fair point. Like, usually they portray women that way, which is kind of unfair.
Yeah. 90s. So this was progressive.
The first seven seasons featured Duchovny and Anderson equally, and in the 8th and 9th seasons, Anderson sort of took center stage while Duchovny appeared only intermittently. We introduced new main characters, which went okay. John Doggett, played by Robert Patrick, and Monica Reyes, played by Annabeth Gish.
Robert Patrick being the T-1000 from Terminator 2.
Yeah. Mulder and Scully's boss, assistant director Walter Skinner, played by Mitch Pileggi, also became a main character. The series' first 5 seasons were filmed in Vancouver, British Columbia, and eventually moved to Los Angeles, which I did not realize was to accommodate David Duchovny because he lived there.
Yeah, that makes sense because of his movieing.
Yeah. And they later moved to Vancouver, or returned to Vancouver to film the second X-Files movie, as well as the 10th and 11th seasons.
That makes sense. That's the bridge that he gets abducted off of. Sorry. Spoilers.
Going back. No, you're fine. I didn't know what bridge that was, but.
Just the architecture looks so Canadian. Hey.
So, Canadian. As far as the origin of the show, California native Chris Carter was given the opportunity to produce new shows for the Fox network in the early 90s and was tired of the comedies he'd been working on for Walt Disney Pictures. There was some sort of report that he came across that said that 3.7 million Americans believe that they may have been abducted by aliens.
No.
And along with that, the Watergate scandal and the 1970s horror series Kolchak, The Night Stalker all contributed to trigger the idea for the X-Files. He wrote the pilot in 1992. As far as casting goes, this is interesting because you hear those ones where it's like, oh, they may have cast this person, they didn't. In this case, it was pretty straightforward. Duchovny had been working in Los Angeles for 3 years prior to the X-Files and wanted to focus on films. His manager in 1993, his manager Melanie Green, gave him the script for the pilot episode of the X-Files. They were both convinced it was a good script, so he auditioned for the lead. Apparently, his audition was, quote, terrific, though he talked rather slowly. And while the casting director of the show is very positive, Carter thought he was not particularly intelligent. That's harsh.
I mean, what we know of his personal life, he was a sex addict, and that was probably the height of his physical fitness. No,
right?
The prime of his youth. So maybe he came off as an airhead.
So he apparently asked Duchovny if he could, quote, please imagine himself as an FBI agent in, quote, future episodes. However, Duchovny actually turned out to be one of the best read people that Carter knew.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of embarrassing. Meanwhile, Gillian Anderson auditioned for the part of Scully in 1993. She said she couldn't put the script down. For the role, the network wanted either a more established actress or one that was taller, leggier, blonder, and breastier than the 24-year-old Anderson, a theater veteran with minor film experience. After auditions, Carter felt she was the only choice. He insisted that Anderson had the no-nonsense integrity that the role required for portraying Scully. Anderson won numerous major awards, including the SAG Award in 1996 and 1997, an Emmy in 1997, and a Golden Globe in 1997.
If I remember correctly about Duchovny, he played a transgender DEA agent on Twin Peaks before getting the role as Mulder.
That's true.
Yeah. And also the host of the Showtime softcore erotica TV series, Red Shoe Diaries.
Wow. I found this interesting. More than 100 actors auditioned for the role of John Doggett.
That makes sense.
But only 10 were seriously considered, including Lou Diamond Phillips, Hart Buckner, and Bruce Campbell.
Well, that would have been a different show if Bruce Campbell got the Doggett role.
And I thought it'd be fun. This is off the cuff a little bit, but some notable guest stars. Seth Green was in the second episode.
Well, I mean, he was working in the 80s as a child actor.
There's an episode 3, Squeeze, has Donald Logue in it. Logue. He's the guy from what is he from? He's in that one show that he was in ER, of course. Grounded for Life. He was the main character in Grounded for Life.
Was he the dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
yeah,
he was briefly he was a love interest of Carol Hathaway's, I think. No. Susan Lewis in ER. Let's see, who else? Felicity Huffman was in season 1, episode 8. Playing Nancy De Silva, a scientist trapped in an Arctic research station. Let's see. CCH Pounder was in episode 5 of season 2. She went on to be in a lot of things, but was in ER. We've got Terry O'Quinn. He's from Lost, I think, and other things. Dean Norris played a U.S. Marshal of little consequence in season 2. Jack Black appeared in season 3.
Dean Norris from Breaking Bad. He was the brother-in-law.
Mm-hmm. Giovanni Ribisi was in the same episode as Jack Black.
Giovanni Ribisi. The guy from Saving Private Ryan.
He's the annoying brother of Phoebe and Friends, I think.
That's what he is. Yeah. Is he? He went on to be in Avatar and Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, he was in Friends. He was the annoying brother in Friends.
Speaking of which, I just watched a Cheers episode with Lisa Kudrow, and she had black hair.
Peter Boyle, who won an Emmy for his role in season 3.
Oh, wow.
Ripped to the max, and he died.
Ripped to the max.
I didn't know this was a thing. Ryan Reynolds was in season 3. I didn't know that.
He was a television actor back then.
Kurtwood Smith, season 3. Lucy Liu, season 3. Alex Trebek and Jesse Ventura in season 3. That's one of my favorite episodes.
Also just saw an episode where Alex Trebek was on Cheers.
There was season 5. Richard Belzer played Detective John Munch of the Law and Order series.
Oh, yeah. Because when he guest stars on other shows, he just guest stars as his character from Law and Order.
Yeah, exactly. He ripped to the max also.
Ripped to the max.
Luke Wilson was in season 5. One of my favorites, Bryan Cranston. Mm-hmm. The role that ultimately got him cast in Breaking Bad by Vince Gilligan, who also worked on The X-Files. Drive, season 6. He played Patrick Crump, a man tormented by radio waves, the pain of which can only be relieved by driving westward at high speed. He holds Mulder at gunpoint and makes him drive in like an old Ford Taurus.
Wait. Have you watched Better Call Saul?
Not yet.
Oh, because his brother in the series thinks he has EMF poisoning.
Oh.
So
what about a little Easter egg?
Yeah, right? Yeah. Interesting.
But by the way, I just started watching. I almost finished watching Bryan Cranston's other series on Showtime called Your Honor, where he plays that judge. Mm-hmm. And it's really good. I recommend it.
I'll check it out when I get Showtime.
I don't know who John Hawkes is. Jesse Martin. Oh, Octavia Spencer was in season 7.
The Millennium crossover episode?
I don't know. Yes. That makes sense. Shia LaBeouf, Kathy Griffin, Jane Lynch, Aaron Paul. Well, that's perfect. Yep. Terry O'Quinn again. And that's it for that list. So, yeah, quite a few notable people before they were famous.
That's impressive. Most impressive. Shia LaBeouf.
That's probably a good time to go to Brandon for the Namely 90s Minute.
Welcome back to Namely 90s Minute. Every week we look back at a culturally relevant show, movie, or piece of pop culture that probably helps stoke the algorithm. This week, in honor of Power Rangers Cosmic Fury coming to Netflix, we're looking back at the other Power Rangers movie from the 90s, Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. Turbo, a Power Rangers movie is a 1997 superhero film and sequel to Power Rangers Zeo and the beginning of the Power Rangers Turbo series based on the Japanese Super Sentai franchise, adapting Gekiko Sentai Ranger. Sorry, I don't know what came over me there. The film stars the original Green Ranger as the Red Ranger, the second Black Ranger as the Green Ranger, the third Yellow Ranger as the Yellow Ranger, the second Pink Ranger as the Pink Ranger, the second Red Ranger as the former Blue Ranger, the original Pink Ranger, the original Red Ranger, and some random child as a new Blue Ranger. The story begins with the villainous space pirate Divatox hunting down a space wizard named Larigod because he has a key to an interdimensional gateway that she wants so she can marry a demon named Malagor. Larigod escapes and heads to Earth in search of Zordon and Alpha 5, but arrives in Africa by accident and apparently is weakened by our sun's ultraviolet rays. Meanwhile, the Power Rangers are training for a charity martial arts tournament because they need to win it to save the juice bar. While training, the former Blue Ranger injures his back and in the rush to the hospital, they accidentally reveal their Rangers to a random child. Zordon sends the Red and Pink Ranger to Africa to find the Space Wizard and they bring him back to the command center. The Space Pirate Queen's goons abduct the school bullies, the original Red Ranger and the original Pink Ranger, and ransom them along with the Space Wizard's family. So the Space Wizard tries to trade his key for them and gets betrayed by the pirates. Zordon and Alpha help the Rangers create new turbo powers and Zords, which are stronger than their former Zeo powers and Zords. They're joined by the random child as the new Blue Ranger on a random ship called the Ghost Galleon. They make it to a volcano island where the islanders worship Malagor as a god, but don't save their friends in time before they're possessed by the demon god. They manage to save the Space Wizard and his wife who reverse the possession, so Divatox sacrifices her nephew instead to revive Malagor. The Rangers form the new Turbo Megazord and defeat Malagor, then they all return to Angel Grove, and the original Red Ranger takes the second Red Ranger's spot in the charity martial arts tournament and wins the money to save the juice bar or whatever. And that's Turbo, a Power Rangers movie in a Namely 90s minute. More or less.
And now, back to the show. So as the X-Files saw its viewership expand from a small but devoted group of fans to a worldwide mass cult audience, digital telecommunications were becoming mainstream. According to the New York Times, quote, "This may have been the first show to find its audience growth tied to the growth of the internet."
Oh,
that's a bold statement.
That is a very bold statement.
The X-Files incorporated new technologies into storylines beginning in the early seasons. They communicated with each other on cellular phones, which I remember them being like giant and ridiculous.
I'm on a cellular phone. Sorry.
Email contact with secret informants provided plot points in episodes such as Colony and Anasazi, while the lone gunmen were portrayed as internet aficionados as early as 1994. Many X-Files fans also had online access. Fans of the show commonly became known as X-Files with a PH, meaning they like it. And they also wrote their own. They reviewed episodes on unofficial websites, informed communities with other fans, and wrote their own fan fiction.
And then, like, the really, really bad fans that cross over into other things were called pedo. And we're done.
Yeah.
We've been canceled.
The X-Files directly inspired other TV series, including Strange World, The Burning Zone, Special Unit 2, Mysterious Ways, Lost, Dark Skies, The Visitor, Fringe, Warehouse 13, Supernatural, and Gravity Falls.
I'll be honest, I didn't know what those were until you got to Warehouse 13 as something that I recognized.
And with key aspects carried over to more standard crime dramas such as 11th Hour and Bones.
Because they just wanted the redhead woman to get together with the white man FBI.
Always. Isn't that basically all of TV?
Yeah.
The influence can be seen on other levels. Television series such as Lost developed their own complex mythologies. And in terms of characterization, the role of Dana Scully was seen as innovative, changing, quote, how women on television were not just perceived, but how they behaved, perhaps influencing the portrayal of other strong women investigators. And of course, there's the Scully effect, where it helped make STEM fields more desirable or accessible for women. I heard that's a thing.
Sorry, you cut out, so I do not know what you said there.
Okay, well, I just talked about the Scully effect, how she,
Oh yeah, she
brought STEM careers.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Other shows have been influenced by the tone and mood of the X-Files, such as Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Mm-hmm.
which drew from the mood and coloring of the X-Files, as well from its occasional blend of humor and horror, which I always loved that. When, like, the funny episodes of the X-Files, that was kind of like, it wasn't all of them, but there was always a little bit of humor in every episode, like, because of Mulder's personality, but there were some kind of tongue-in-cheek episodes that were always fun to watch.
Which they tried to do in the last season, and it was just like a little cringy. But yeah, Buffy also had the Monster of the Week thing.
Yeah, there was a quote by creator Canceled, who described the show as a cross between the X-Files and My So-Called Life. It also inspired themes in video games. Deus Ex.
It's Latin. It's Latin. Deus.
Oh, whatever. And Perfect Dark.
Yeah. Good inspirations.
Couple more pop culture things. It was parodied in The Simpsons Season 8 episode The Springfield Files in January of 1997. In it, Mulder and Scully, voiced by Duchovny and Anderson, are sent to Springfield to investigate an alien sighting by Homer Simpson. But I end up finding no evidence other than Homer's word, and they leave. The cigarette-smoking man also appears in the background when Homer is interviewed, and the show's theme plays during one particular scene.
Was that the one where Burns is on like some sort of radioactive medicine, and then he goes out into the... Okay. Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah. It's just a great picture of them as Simpsons characters.
And lastly, before we move into a fun BuzzFeed quiz, The X-Files has also been parodied or referenced in countless other shows, such as Third Rock from the Sun, Archer, News Radio, American Horror Story, The Big Bang Theory, Ha Ha Ha, Bones, Breaking Bad, Californication, which stars David Duchovny, Supernatural, Castle, Family Guy, Hey Arnold, King of the Hill, South Park, and Two and a Half Men. The series has also been referenced in songs such as The Bad Touch by the Bloodhound Gang, A Change by Sheryl Crow, Year 2000 by Exhibit, and my favorite, 1 Week by Canadian band Bare Naked Ladies.
BNL.
Yeah, what a show. What a show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the truth is out there, man.
It is. Yeah, I wonder, this whole conspiracy theory thing kind of panned out as far as the government's trustworthiness.
Fair, but well,
go ahead. Sorry.
So you know how, like, in the Matrix, certain groups have this whole thing about being blue pilled or red pilled, and they think they know the truth even though they're idiots. What if they what is one thing that they can take from the X-Files to also make them sound like they know what they're talking about when they really don't? The truth is out there.
The truth is out there. I don't know. I always found the concept that the government could do anything in an organized way is
science fiction,
ridiculous. And that's what a conspiracy requires. It requires a high level of coordination of a lot of people of like very secret things. And our government, like, they can't even show up for Congress. They stop talking in the middle of a sentence.
Wow. There was a animated X-Files Albuquerque that was in development. And
yeah, I heard.
Fascinating.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a BuzzFeed quiz called How Well Do You Actually Know the X-Files Mythology? Because it was the only one I could find that was of any usefulness. And the subtitle is 0111010001. Okay, I'm sorry.
So are we working together on this one, or?
Yeah, let's work together because I don't know the answers to all these.
Okay.
I'll start. How long had Scully been with the FBI before she was assigned to the X-Files? A little over 2 years, 1 year, a little over 6 months, or she was still a rookie and not yet an FBI agent. You can't be a rookie if you're not an agent already, but that's beside the point.
Also, the subtitle in binary translates to "Trust No One."
Perfect. I feel like a little over 6 months because she was an FBI agent at that time. Like
she was, yes, but well,
she's 24. She already graduated med school, so she must have been really smart.
Well, she. Do
you have
okay.
What do you want to choose? Do you have any guesses?
I don't know. 2 years sounded right to me, but because
I actually think it's rookie now.
Yeah. Like,
she was an agent, but she hadn't done anything yet. She just got out of the academy.
Are you sure you're not confusing that with Silence of the Lambs?
I don't know. I think she just got out of the academy, but I'm okay with any answer.
No, I'll trust you.
Oh boy, trust no one. Let's do it. Damn it, 2 years. Really?
Got it.
I guess that makes sense because she had worked on previous cases with that guy from Grounded for Life. So sorry. We'll just go with you from now on. It's your turn.
What is Mulder's nickname? Creepy, spooky, foxy, or pervy?
Pervy is his actor's nickname.
Yes.
Well, it's spooky.
Spooky.
Although Foxy would have been appropriate. Who of the following is not part of the syndicate? William Mulder, Alex Krycek, Cigarette Smoking Man, Victor Klemper, Jeffrey Spender, or the Well-Manicured Man?
You know the answer? I think it's Spender, right?
Yeah,
Because Krychek was their
he's
agent.
part of it. So, yeah, I think Jeffrey Spender's not part of it. I think Mueller thought he was a part of it, but he ended up not being.
Yeah, wasn't Spender like the X or the guy that replaced X, the like informant guy?
I think so.
Okay,
I'm gonna go with him.
yeah.
Yes.
What is a cigarette smoking man's real name? John Spender, William Spender, CGB Spender, Jeffrey Spender.
His name is Spender. We know that.
Maybe that's
I think
Jeff.
it's CGB.
Okay. I didn't
I don't know what it
realize.
stands for.
No, they were related.
It was CGB.
I thought there were two
Hooray.
different people.
I know.
Or they are two different people, but who? What?
I chose CGB because I knew it was right.
Okay. You're up.
What is the project? The government's plan to monitor and control every human on Earth using alien technology. This joint plan between the Syndicate and Reticulans to colonize the Earth. Or the government's plan to distract the population with false alien abductions and conspiracy theories.
This just in Spender, again, obviously, the son of Cigarette Smoking Man, but he was like an agent that got horribly disfigured and then kept coming back. Sorry.
Yeah.
The project, the second one, right?
But I don't think they were called Reticulans. Isn't it just aliens?
Yeah, I do not know the answer to that, but wasn't that the plan?
Yeah, that's the plan. Just the word Reticulans threw me off. Let's go with it. The joint plan between the Syndicate and Reticulans. Yes.
Cool. When was the first known infection of the black oil? Was it in 1947 during the crash at Roswell, 1991 in Southern California, 3500 BC, 35,000 BC in North Texas, or in 1934 in Germany. This was the thing that infects you and like mind controls you or whatever.
Yeah.
Makes you evil.
And it is in fact 35,000 BC in North Texas, because that's how X-Files Fight the Future starts.
Oh, yeah.
Also, that one's very different than the others, so it kind of stands out.
Right. Well, I mean, the only other thing that I was thinking of was there was the episode where they got sent back in time to like the 1940s during wartime.
Oh, that's fun. The Bermuda Triangle episode where they are on that ship. That's a fun episode.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
You're up.
How do you kill the alien bounty hunter? Gunshot to the head, stabbing the back of the neck with an alien stiletto, a lethal dose of the black oil virus, or a special incinerator weapon?
That would be the alien stiletto. They really didn't like this.
They didn't try
this
to
quiz.
conceal the correct answer.
Yeah, even though we know the answer, but still, it's just like, come on. What happened to Scully when she removes the metallic chip implant in the back of her neck? It triggers a silent alarm.
Pantsuit. Sorry.
It triggers a silent alarm at MUFON headquarters. Muffin?
MUFON.
I'm going to go with Muffin. She gets temporarily paralyzed. Black oil seeps from her eyes, or she develops cancer. I know she eventually develops cancer, but was that from the chip?
Yeah, I think it's cancer.
Okay. Well done.
Indeed. What is purity control? The government's plan to create a perfect human, otherwise known as a super soldier. The alien colonists' plan to create a virus that will eradicate mankind. Or the Syndicate's plan to create a vaccine for the black oil virus.
Ooh, these are all three things that happened in the X-Files.
I believe it's the super soldier one.
Okay, I'll go with that. Incorrect. It's the Syndicate's plan to create a vaccine for the black oil virus. I was thinking super soldier as well. So, Samantha Mulder.
For some reason, I thought that was connected. Go ahead.
Fox's sister was given to the alien colonists in exchange for what? Secrets to the alien colonists' plan for world destruction, the exact date of colonization, an alien fetus, or the cure to any human disease. I know she was swapped.
I don't actually know.
She was given. I know she was given from the Syndicate. So, and they knew the exact date of colonization. So that would be my guess. But the other thing that's popping out to me is a cure to any human disease.
I want to say it's the human disease one, but I don't know.
Well, we could trust you.
No, alien fetus.
Oh, we were both wrong. Me, you.
Me. What is Cassandra Spender? Is it William Mulder's mistress, an alien, cigarette smoking man's sister, or an alien human hybrid?
All of the above.
I think she's an alien human hybrid.
I thought she was Mulder's mistress because Spender's half is. Oh no, sorry. His mom gives birth to.
Or is she? I mean, she could be cigarette smoking man's sister because they have the same last name. No, it's Spender's mom.
It is Spender's mom.
The young Spender's mom.
So that would be because I think it's William Mulder's mistress. Because he's he's the half brother because Spender is his father.
Yes.
Spoilers. So alien human hybrid.
Sure.
Or did you say it? Yeah.
Yes.
We
Correct.
did it.
Your turn.
Why are the alien rebels faceless? So they can shapeshift into any human being, so they are harder to identify. They are naturally born that way. So they don't get infected with the black oil. They don't.
So they don't get infected.
But they have the ears are covered up too. Gross.
They have no holes.
They have no holes and therefore unable to breathe.
Who inspired the name for the Lone Gunman?
This is a long quiz.
I know, sorry. X, Fox Mulder, John Fitzgerald Byers, or Suzanne Modesky?
I'm going to go with John Fitzgerald Byers.
I want to go with Suzanne Modesky.
Then Suzanne Modesky, it's X, of course.
Is it? Oh, yeah, I remember that line.
When asked by the trio who
Oh.
assassinated Kennedy, he responds, "I heard it was a lone gunman."
That's at the end of the episode with Suzanne Modesky in it. I thought that. It's like a prequel episode, kind of.
I don't remember who Suzanne Modesky is.
She was like this woman at this convention they were at, but then they also met X at the end, and he said that.
Gotcha.
Because it was like the origin story for the Lone Gunman, probably because of the spinoff.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's coming back to me. Which U.S. president was first made aware of the aliens' plan for colonization? John F. Kennedy, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Harry Truman, or Richard Nixon?
I want to say Truman, but I have no real strong.
I would assume it was Kennedy, and they would be like, "That's why he died." But Truman, let's go Truman.
I don't want to be wrong.
Okay, then let's go.
It's Truman. Yay! I already clicked it.
Yeah.
Who was Emily Sim? She was a 3-year-old girl who developed psychic abilities due to the black oil. She was Scully's youngest sister. She was a clone of Samantha Mulder. She was the result of a failed alien-human hybrid experiment created from Scully's ova.
God, there's so much crap in this show. Because Scully had a kid with Mulder, but also possibly it was from the human alien thing stuff. Scully has a sister, but I don't think she has a younger sister. There was
I think
a girl,
she's a 3-year-old that developed psychic abilities.
Yeah,
because she looks 3 and she's got like an IV.
But there was also a clone of Samantha Mulder.
Yeah, but that was
older
on.
Older, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
Nope. It was the failed human hybrid.
Okay, I quit.
Where did Diane Foley claim to be working before returning to Washington in 1998? She was working undercover in Tunguska. She was involved in the FBI's counterterrorism unit in Europe. She was working for the syndicate, cultivating bees to infect the population with black oil.
I feel like it's Tunguska, but I don't know why.
There
was an episode that took place there.
I was going to guess the bees and black oil.
You know what? I think it's counterterrorism in Europe.
Okay.
She claimed to be working there. I don't know. What do you want to do?
Well, I've already clicked, so I know what the answer is.
Yeah, I was right. She was involved in the counterterrorism.
Yes, you were.
What would supposedly happen to the hybrids after colonization? They would be used as guinea pigs for experiments. They would thrive as the dominant breed in the New World. They would serve as slaves to the colonists, or they would be killed. I don't know.
I would go with killed.
Sold. Incorrect. They would be slaves.
That makes more sense. Pick the informants in order of when they first met Mulder. Deep Throat, Marita, Cora, and X.
Well, Deep Throat certainly came before X.
Was that right?
Yes.
So,
I think it's A or D, none of the above.
Let's go none of the above then. Because, who was Marita Cora?
She was someone that worked with a congressman or something. It's none of the above. She was after X.
Okay.
Or before Deep Throat. None of the above. Your turn? My turn. What was inside the orange diplomatic pouch that Scully is holding? Is it a fragment of a meteorite from Mars, a canister of black oil, a vaccine, or an alien stiletto?
Oh.
I think it's a canister of black oil.
My gut says a vaccine, but let's go
with
black
the
oil.
Vaccine. Okay.
Black oil.
Fragment of a meteorite. Okay, well, our job is done here.
Yeah. Thank you, random picture from random episode. Who created this successful vaccine for the black oil? The Russians, the Syndicate, Scully, the Japanese.
It's the Russians.
Yes. Well done.
What is written on this spaceship?
That's covered
Picture
by
of a spaceship.
beach. Yeah.
Description of alien genetics, description of alien language, description of human genetics and text from every religion, or binary code of human DNA. I think it's the religion one.
Okay. Well done. What is the purpose of a super soldier? They were created by alien rebels to protect humans from colonization. They were created by alien colonists to ensure humans do not survive colonization. They were created by the government to protect humans from the alien rebels. That was...
I want to say it's C or B.
They were created by alien... They were created by the government, right?
Yeah. No. Wrong.
Fair.
What are super soldiers vulnerable to? Water, magnetite, sulfur, or hydrogen peroxide?
And there's a picture of Adam Baldwin as a dying super soldier.
I want to say magnetite.
Magnetite. What did Jeffrey Spender inject into baby William? Black oil, magnetite, purity, alien blood.
Purity is my guess.
Let's go purity. It was magnetite.
Shoot. Why was Gibson Praise a threat? He was half human, half super soldier. He could read minds. He was injected with magnetite, or he knew how to eradicate the black oil.
He could read minds.
He could read minds.
And finally, when is the official date of colonization? August 24th, 2007, December 21st, 2012, July 7th, 2047, October 13th, 2014.
I feel like it was 2047, but I don't really know.
Okay.
Nope, 2012. What was our score?
16 out of 26.
Yeah. That's not great.
No, but you scored better than how many of all quiz takers?
40 something? 40?
I accidentally clicked an X. I only got 15 out of 26. So it says, some of the truth.
I got 37.
You've seen
I clicked one wrong too.
Oh, okay. You've seen some things that have scarred you for life, but you're still a skeptic.
Yeah, that quiz was dumb, but it shows me that I need to rewatch it because I didn't listen closely enough to some of the story arc episodes.
Yeah. There was some those. Yeah.
Yeah, those there. Yeah, though. Yeah.
It's a lot of show and mythology.
Well, there it is, the X-Files.
And that's it for this week's Deep Dive edition of Namely 90s. Remember, you can find new episodes out every Monday. Join us next week for another variety show episode. Find us on Instagram and YouTube at Namely 90s with 90s and tell us what you want us to talk about on future episodes of the Deep Dives. If you'd like to support the show, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/namely90s, also with a 90s. And finally, you can contact us through our website, namely90s.com. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Audible, I Want to Believe, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeart, Good Pods, and wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm Brandon, that's Andrew, and we will catch you next time. Da 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 da